Shana Tova. You don't have to be seated yet. So here are my instructions for the beginning of the service. And you've already, I think you all get a B plus already, and you can make your way from a B plus to an A plus. Let's begin tonight by doing a little Shalom Aleichem to each other. I think you've already started. We'll just do a couple more minutes, which is, do me a favor and turn to the people around you, even if you are someone maybe you haven't chatted with yet. If you already know them, catch up with them. If you don't know them, ask them about themselves and learn a little about them. So, a little Shalom Aleichem to each other. Let's greet each other for the new year. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How good to be with you again with the book of life and the book of sustenance, the book of all the books are opening, they're all there, and we're entering into the new year together. It's traditional to say shalom shalom l'rachok u'l'karov amar Adonai. Shalom shalom to those who are far off, and shalom to those who are near, says Adonai. In the words of Shlomo ibn Gebirah, mighty God who listens to the poor and hears their prayer, please don't stay distant and hidden from me. Night and day I call to you with a true heart. I thank you with gratitude. I express satisfaction in your kindness so great. My hope is in you. My heart trusts in you. And I love this line. As a dreamer of dreams depends on an interpreter, this is what I ask, you hearing my prayer. This I seek, not more and not less. Before we begin with liturgy, let's summon the spirit of Monroe Hafter to this bima, because I know Monroe always joins us at this time. But we'll do that along with Daryl and Naomi coming to the bima. Would you? To share a poem from Daryl's book, A New Year Song.
Whichever. Wonderful. Shana Tova to all of you. A New Year's song. Who would have thought to find beginning in an end? A new year when the crops have come, the flowers turn to seeds, the welcome green now shed upon the ground in gold and red. Why not a new year in the spring, whose yearning promise leads us on without a thought, the very kernel yet to burst into maturity? Why not a song of mourning when we mourn? It is another ending, is it not? When fullness withers down from cheer and robust life, like spent apples in a sack, it is our task to gather up the seed, to hold our faith beyond the barren soil, to celebrate, to plant, to find beginning in an end.
Please rise as we invite Carolyn, our Shlichat Tzibor, to the bima. We're at the Baruch on page 5 of the Machzor.
Ah
may be seated as we work down the page.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Umavir yom umavir laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv haravi.
Amen. Page 6, we prepare for the Shema.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shema.
אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. כי אהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך, ופשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue silently down page 7.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
God redeems us from earthly rulers. Our sovereign delivers us from the hand of all tyrants. We continue on page 8.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ונביא ישראל, לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה לי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגייסו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, God Yisrael.
Amen. Let's read together on page 9 in English at the top of the page. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully and to awaken again to life, our sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us, remove from us enemies and pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow, and remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you are the sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. Back to the Hebrew.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו, ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים.
Page 10.
תיקעו בחודש שופר, בכסל היום חגנו, כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי יעקב.
You're already so far through the evening service, and we're ready for a little bit of silent contemplation and silent prayer. And to prepare for the special insertions, I want you to take a look at the top of page 12, because when we get to the silent prayer, we have the insertions through the high holy days of Zochreinu L'chaim Melech Hafetz B'chaim. And it is such a positive message that when we think of all of the balance of brokenness and wholeness, and what can go wrong and what can go right, we say that may God remember us for life, for the book of life, because God delights in life and cherishes and seeks out life, wants to inscribe us in the book of life, because God is the God of life. I'm going to share a poem that was just written recently, was just written this month, by Rabbi Sarah Adler. For me, it's about channeling this time of nature and the turning of the seasons, so much like Daryl's poem, in spirit, and trying to tap in maybe less into the politics and more into the nourishment of the goodness around us. Late September. The leaves are making tshuva. They're turning away from the sun. Chlorophyll fades from their veins, revealing riotous colors of red. The leaves are making tshuva by letting go of their verdant past. They drop from branches, float on eddies of air to the ground. The leaves are making tshuva. They huddle in garden beds and keep each other warm. Once glorious crowns of canopies, they now feel the earth with poignantly fingered hands. They blanket our autumn yards like a great talit, and then quiver like loose-leafed prayers. They cup cocoons, jeweled galls, and chrysalids and palmated palms, and become nurseries to butterfly and bee, tend to the embers of glowworms that shine like underground stars. The leaves are making tshuva, turning inward, turning down, their brittled bodies tan into shades of amber, umber, golden brown. They forgive the trees. They forgive the wind. They will one day bloom into soil between blades of grass, between the hollowed stems of cornflower, between the holy and the profane. The leaves are making tshuva. Praise them. I want to invite Jeffrey and Deborah up now to sing those top two lines, Zochreinu, to help channel us into a spirit of positive energy, newness, possibility in the new year.
Zochreinu l'chaim melech hofetz v'chaim v'chazavenu l'sefer l'chaim l'mancho Elohim Chaim.
Zochreinu l'chaim melech hafetz v'chaim v'chazavenu v'sefer chaim l'mancho Elohim Chaim Chaim.
In a world in which so many voices are coming at us all the time, if you're looking for a direction, just break open Rosh Hashanah here at this time. Maybe focus inward on yourself. Ask yourself, as I mentioned, I think, in my email a couple weeks ago, is there anywhere that you need to apologize to yourself? And how do you find that voice to forgive yourself? To open up the gates for this year. Please rise for the silent Amidah. We begin with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 10.
V'yikada, v'yikada, Shemei Rabbah, v'yamad ivra kirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon, v'yomechon, uv'chayetecho Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv, v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam le'ol me'amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalav, Shmei Tekudesha B'richu. Le'ela, le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram biyama v'imru, Amen.
11 to 16 are your own private path.
לספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה נזכר וניכתב לפניך אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים לחיים טובים ולשלום ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
We may be seated as the service continues on page 19.
יגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד עברה קירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון, ובחיי דכו בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ויומי ימיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירם בימה ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלות הון ובאות הון דכו ישראל קדם אבוהון דבשמיא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ויוקו ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ויוקו ישראל ואמרו אמן.
I don't know about you, but in this year, I could really use us singing together to lift my spirits a little bit, the last line. Will you do that with me? That we just heard. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al Yisrael. Let's lift it up a little. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. May it be God's will. You know, every year I wonder if I'm going to be able to find a sincere prayer. I know in Judaism we have all of this liturgy, but all that's really asked of us as we're carried through the liturgy is to find some prayer that speaks to us, some word that speaks to us, or even just a place in our heart that's genuine. We're really searching for authenticity. And you would think that we're all, based on what I see online with everyone posting everything about everything incessantly, you would think that we have nothing but authenticity. And everyone's like sharing constantly their authenticity. I think it's hard to find genuine prayer, to say one thing that goes right through you is genuine. And maybe that's why our tradition is so full of these amazing stories, you know, often from Hasidism. That there's the one famous one that I think I shared on Slichot this year, which is that the shofar blower one year was entrusted by the Rebbe to explain what the meaning of the shofar sounds are. And so he prepared so much, and he wrote down his kavanot. He used his one chance to tell everyone what it all means. And of course, it fell right out of his pocket once he put it in. So the day of Rosh Hashanah came, and he goes up to blow the shofar, and the Rebbe says to him, okay, here you go. All he could do was announce the notes and then blow them. And the Rebbe turned to him and said, because your covenant were genuine, the gates of heaven have been opened. And we're searching for one word we can inhabit. I feel like for some time there, I could inhabit peace. That I think if God looked into my heart, God would look at my craving for peace. Not a posting, not a lesson, not a teaching, not more words, just the sound that was emanating in this room and transmitting out to you, those of you who are joining us in spirit and in ears to hear those words. So I'm going to share one thought to maybe help channel a little bit of this, and it's not even an original thought, and then we will conclude the service and spend some time together with starting the year with sweetness. So this teaching, before I read their teaching, I'll tell you why it's there. You may have noticed that one of the oldest prayers of the liturgy, and you just did it on page 13, is the Uvechein Tein Pachtecha prayer. Adonai our God, instill your awe in all you have made, and a trembling before you in all you have created, a resonance. And may we carry out your will wholeheartedly. That theme that we are created things continues on Rosh, in Yom Kippur, in the famous piyut that as clay in the hands of the potter, as glass in the hands of the glass blower, as fabric in the hands of the tailor. An acknowledgement that we are created things. Not everything starts with our own will and our own ego. And a place maybe to start in High Holy Days is to say, what am I made of? I didn't choose everything I'm made of. I didn't choose the tradition. I didn't choose being a Jew. I didn't choose, well, maybe you did. And if you did, that's extremely special. But I think it was already inside you, right? It was a coming home. We didn't choose our genetics. We didn't choose so much that ends up being a part of who we are. So maybe when we don't know what to connect with, we start with, what am I like? What if someone visited me, looked at me and said, it's kind of like going on a first date with God, right? And God's like, this is what I look like. Lynn always tells these stories of our first date because she told me about herself, and I was like, well, that doesn't really strike me. From the hour I've talked with you, you seem like something different than you described yourself. At which time she got really upset with me and told me that that's a pretty obnoxious male chauvinist thing to say, and probably was. And then later said, it felt good to be seen in the present. It's like a first date with God, where God's like, that's really interesting that that's what you think about yourself, but that's not what I'm sensing. This is what I see, this beautiful thing before me. So in order to understand whether we're fabric and what kind, whether we're glass and what kind, what kind of clay we're made of, because they're all so different, that will help understand what shape we want to be made into. We want to invite God to help shape us in the new year. So the teaching I'm sharing comes from Chaim Ezra Harrison. Chaim Ezra Harrison lives in Chicago and is a creator. Multiracial, Jewish, bisexual, and neurodivergent. And in his creations, he likes to celebrate the beautifully complex identities that Jews possess. And those are his words. And so he wrote this. May many of us consider Rosh Hashanah a chance to reflect on our mistakes and set resolutions for this year ahead. And while this is true, there is another side to this holiday. Jewish New Year is a chance for all of us to recognize the unique gifts we each carry and to ask how we can bring them into the world in this coming year and for years to come. So often we focus on our shortcomings, but it is equally important to take stock of our strengths. One of Judaism's most beautiful ideas is that no two people are the same. The Talmud teaches that when someone makes coins, they all look identical, but when God created people, each one comes out different. Our differences, our unique traits, they are not a flaw. They are part of a divine plan. And this means that your perspective, your talents, your way of being, they all matter. Nobody else can bring the exact same gifts that you can, and there are few things more beautiful than this reality. And furthermore, in addition to recognizing our abilities, Rosh Hashanah compels us to put them to use. We as Jews often talk about tikkun olam, repairing the world, and that's a concept that can feel overwhelming, but it often begins simply by offering the gifts we already have. So what might it look like to do our own soul accounting this Rosh Hashanah? Maybe start with these questions. What comes naturally to me? What makes me feel alive? How have I been holding back my gifts? And how can I use my strengths in service of others this year? Hiding your talents is not humility, it is withholding your light. The shofar on Rosh Hashanah reminds us of this. Every blast is different, some long and steady, others short and broken, but together they form the music that stirs the soul. And your gifts are part of that music. Rosh Hashanah is about more than resolutions. It's about stepping into beautiful possibility and claiming the image of God within us and using it to create the world in which we desire to live. This year, embrace your divine gifts. Embrace yourself. May you see your individuality as sacred, and may the sound of the shofar call you to share the light that only you can bring. I'm going to invite Jeffrey up at this time to sing Sur Yisrael. It's usually done in the morning before the Amidah. No, come on up. I'm not going to.
Slow but steady.
That's actually what Sur Yisrael is about. It's about calling upon God's name as God, the rock and the redeemer, the one who is slow and steady, looking for some solid foundation to build the new year and the world.
Zu Yisroel, Zur Yisroel, Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael, Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael. Go Aleinu, Adonai, Tzava'o, Shema Kidash Yisroel. Baruch atah Adonai, Goal Yisroel. Amen. Thank you.
Please rise for Kiddush on page 24. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'am, v'romemanu mikol hashon. V'kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu, v'yava et yom hazikaron hazeh, yom truah mikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, u'dvarcha emet, v'kayam la'ad, baruch atah Adonai, melech ha'kol ha'aretz, mekadesh Yisrael, v'yom hazikaron. Aleinu, page 25.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשלחות האדמה, שלא שמכם ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We may be seated except for those who are reciting the Mortar's Kaddish on this night. If you're reciting the Kaddish, you're together with me on page 26. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah bi'alma divrach pirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Let's get together. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Maya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Alinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Huya Aseh Shalom Alinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. I'm going to ask Deborah to come up on page 27, Deborah Green, to help us sing these lines from Psalm 27 to head into the new year feeling like there is light guiding us and a way forward without fear.
I'm going to do this once through and then everybody join in the second time, okay? Give it a... Achalti me'et Adonai otavakesh. Achalti me'et Adonai otavakesh. Shifti Beveit Adonai kol yemei chayei lachazot beno am Adonai ulevaker behechalo lachazot beno am Adonai ulevaker behechalo ahad she'alti me'et Adonai otavakesh ahad she'alti me'et Adonai otavakesh shifti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayei lachazot beno am Adonai ulevaker behechalo lachazot beno am Adonai ulevaker behechalo. Shana Tova.
Our Shlichat Tzibor returns to the Bima to finish off the psalm at the bottom of the page. I always think it's magical that Psalm 27 ended up on page 27. It's good luck for the High Holy Days this year.
קווה אל אדוני חזק ויאמץ ליבך, וקווה אל אדוני.
Page 28 for Yigdal.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח, נמצא ויענד אל מציאותו, אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו, לעולם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו, אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומביט את תמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, על יד נביאו למען ביתו, לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומל איש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לראש הרע כרישתו, לשלוח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפדות וחכה קץ ישועתו, מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדעת שם תהילתו, מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדעת שם תהילתו.
For those who might be new, our tradition is to go, you can see the tables in the back. There have been amazing volunteers spending weeks cooking freshly made delicious desserts to start us into the new year with sweetness. So please, even if you were thinking of leaving, come on back and get something, and make sure to greet people you haven't met yet. I ask anyone who has joined Beth Israel or who's new in the last 2 years, because I forgot to say this last year, raise your hand if you're new in the last 2 years. So we've got some people here to descend upon and make them eat sweets, okay? So I hope you'll come back, and so please, let's start off with connecting with each other. L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu, may you be inscribed and sealed for a good year, and let's go eat. Shana tova.